Okay, today's video we are going to talk about using a customer testimonial that you may have or come up with using the method here. And I'm going to share with you here today to boost the ROI, or if you want to call it ROAS, of your Facebook ads by 4 times. Yes, this is not a embellishment. This is really a 4x increasing strategy that I'm going to give you here today on today's video. The way that we're doing this is we're taking what your customers say about you, putting it on your Facebook ads, and doing it on behalf of that person. So it really does look like it's coming from that person. So there's a big difference between putting a customer testimonial on your Facebook ad and then advertising it through and with your business, as opposed to taking a customer testimonial that you get, putting it into an ad, and advertising it on behalf of that customer through using a custom fan page that you set up for that customer or client or whatever. So that's the nuts and bolts of the actual overall method I'm sharing with you here today. And I'm going to go into the detail on how to actually execute this. But with that said, what somebody says about you, the reason why this actually will 4x the ROI of your campaigns as it sits right now today, or roughly thereof, is because what other people say about you is 4 times more powerful than what you could say about yourself. And when you put a customer testimonial down on your advertising, even though that's kind of nice to have, it doesn't, people still a lot of times don't believe it. People fake testimonials too much. And obviously people cherry pick testimonials. Like, you know, it's not hard to get 100 customers, find your 2 happiest ones, get a testimonial from them, and then share only those 2, right? Well, that's whether that's the way that it works or not. Customers are not stupid, basically. So, but you can make it seem like your customers are just sharing good words about you, which makes it less likely, obviously, that you just simply showed them the best and filtered out the worst. For you guys selling new products, new concepts, are in a space where people just normally don't trust you, the legal space, the tax space, digital marketing space. I know these are all services, but if you have let's say a new dune buggy that you're selling, in a lot of those cases, people are very skeptical about the quality. They don't know much about it. Any of those types of businesses, this method here will absolutely crush it, because it gets rid of the uncertainty, because you're getting the best way for that person to know that they can trust your company is to hear from somebody else that they had a good experience, and not just, again, coming from the company itself. Most people don't buy as they simply don't believe what you're saying. If they believed what you were saying and that your product really could save them money or make them money or make them lose 50 pounds, they would buy. That's not the case in every market, but more than half of markets, it's literally just comes down, do they believe what you can do for that person will actually work for them? And not just work, the idea really is not just work for the average person, but will work for them. Because a lot of people believe it will work for other people, but it won't work for them because, they don't have self-confidence. So the best way to, prove, not just show, but prove that this will work for them is to show testimonial after testimonial after testimonial shared, what looks like it's shared by your customers themselves with their own fruition, basically. So there's a methodical way to advertise what customers think about you to make a bunch of sales and mitigate this doubt that people have about your market, about your products and services in a market where there is a lot of doubt, or just where you're selling a new concept where people don't really know how to evaluate what you have. So what this method actually looks like, so that you ultimately get an ad that looks like it's shared directly from one of your customers, and it's just like an organic post that they put on their Facebook ad, which is why it is so damn believable and so profitable for you to do, looks like this. The first step of the 4 steps that you're going to go through to do this is you're going to prompt your salespeople or customer service people to listen out for the good things they hear from your customers or clients on a daily basis at your company. So, and this is all just ties in with how to get customer testimonials. Most people, they wait and they just ask, customers, hey, will you give us a testimonial or whatever? That's kind of a dumb way to do it. The much better way to get a customer testimonial is to train your sales people or your customer service people that when somebody on their own says something positive about your company, that's the time that they're trained to ask, hey, can we use that on our company material? What you said? And then some of them will say no. You could, and if you want to, make it a little, get them to, if you're in a sensitive niche where people don't like to share their responses, you could say, if you would, we'll give you an extra 20% off your next order just for helping us out, or we'll give you a $50 gift card if there is no potential for reorder because you're in a market where once you buy once, you'll never have to buy again. And then on the flip side, your salespeople, you'll get way more people to comply with your. It's one thing to say, hey, you guys, every time someone says something positive about us, you got to ask for the testimonial. Everybody will ask like they're supposed to if you give them an extra spiff for every single person who's willing to leave you a testimonial. We know this because we've seen other clients before where salespeople were supposed to ask for a review. As soon as they started paying an extra $10 or $20 for, when they leave a review, they started getting tons of them. So, frankly, people are just mainly still past having a bad boss. The reason why they're motivated at their job is, making more money. So, and the customer's the same thing. Why should the customer give you a review if, what do they get out of it? Yes, I'm going to put my name out there for the world to see that, I was a fat ass before and now I weigh, 50 pounds less. Why would I want to do that? In some spaces, you're going to have to pay the customer, you're going to have to pay the salesperson or the customer service person to get this done. But that's the right time to get the testimonials. If you put this in place for your business, 1% or more even of your customers should be able to get you a testimonial. And then when you combine it here, and we'll just saying here, when you combine it with the methodology here, where you're going to actually push out, and for everything that this thing is worth, you're going to push it out to everybody to get more sales. It's worth paying both your customer and your salesperson or your customer service rep on both sides there to get these testimonials and start racking them up, so that literally speaking, people that you're using to get a new prospect interested in your business, you can lead with this testimonial and it'll get you sales. Maybe not be right for all business types, but for quite a few where you're selling a new concept and you have low trust, that's the best way to go about doing it. But for all businesses, after you've paid to get them to your site, in terms of retargeting them, these testimonials where you can have a testimonial show up one after another, after another, after another, that's going to crush it for you, because it takes care of, for the people that are too skeptical or on the fence, any concerns that they would have. Because ultimately, if you could show me 10 testimonials from 10 unique people that shared this stuff on their own, that's basically everything I need to know, or to make me feel comfortable about it for the most part. There's a limit in which you're going to show so many, it's going to be kind of obvious that there's some artificiality to this. But what I recommend, certainly in most businesses, is doing 5 of these to where, and you don't have to have it done all at once. It can rotate out and you have one shown and then a week later they see another, which would be the most natural way to do it. But anyway, so going back to the system at hand, you incentivize your salespeople and your customers when they say something positive to let us use what they said. Then, once you've done that, you have, excuse me, 1 and 2 are linked together here. The first one, I kind of already spilled the beans on the second one here, but You have them listen out, and then you ask your customer if they can use that testimonial. Some of you guys, like I said, don't have to offer anything to the customer, but I would 100% recommend giving a bonus or spiff to the people who are in contact with the customers to make sure they ask for if we can use that and write it down when they hear something positive said by your customer base. They're on the phone or in person. Some of you have to pay their customers. But anyway, so you start getting these testimonials, then you could go to your ad guy, or if you're doing it yourself, you can create a fan page for this person that left the review, which they got their own Facebook page, but you can't advertise a Facebook page. You can advertise a fan page. So you create a fan page on behalf of that customer who said the positive thing about you, and then you convinced them one way or another, whether you had to pay them or whatnot, to use that testimonial in our future marketing, if you will. And so you set up the fan page. Now the way that you set up this fan page for this person to set up the advertising of this testimonial that's going to come, you actually will create the page and then you'll seed it with content to make it look like a personal page. The idea here is if you look at this fan page, it looks like a personal person's Facebook page. Not a fan page, but just a regular Facebook page that somebody has. And at first glance, it does. The fan page will look like a personal page. If like at the top, the banner of the page, you have that person and their dog. And then in terms of the content, you post stuff like, you basically repurpose the stuff from their Facebook page, their personal page. So that if the idea here is, if a person goes there, it just looks like their personal page, even though it's a fan page. If you look close enough, you can tell it's a fan page, but you won't usually notice that. 10% of people or less will notice it's an actual fan page. So once you got it seeded up with content like that, then the top post should be the testimonial that they gave. So, and you're going to make the ad. The ad is basically going to frame the testimonial that person gave. So that the idea here is when you go into the next step and you advertise this testimonial, if the person goes, because I've obviously on every newsfeed ad, if the person who is advertising, you can click that business, if you will, and it'll take you back to the business's Facebook page. In this case, it'll take you to this person's fan page. And because the testimonial is at the top, it'll look like, if you aren't paying attention very closely, that person shared or just recently shared that testimonial about your company, if you will, okay? So that's how you're going to set that up. Then once you got that done, of course you're going to link your fan page to your Facebook for Business account, which gives you the opportunity to advertise on behalf of that fan page, even though you're going to own the fan page. Then you're going to make a campaign to advertise that testimonial and that customer's fan page that you made for them. So when you make the campaign and make the ad, furthermore, for that campaign that's supposed to advertise this customer's testimonial, when it asks you which page you're trying to advertise, you're going to pick the fan page that you created for that customer. So that on the ad, if here's your newsfeed ad, right? And then up here, where it has the name of the business, it's going to have that person's fan page. And what you want to name the fan page is that person's first and last name. Or it could be last initial if you want, in case that customer wouldn't approve their full name being used, which if they don't want to have their stuff shared, and you could go for first name, last initial, and most people will go for that. It's much, much, much better to have their full name because that looks less like a fake review or testimonial. But if that's all you can get, then first name, last initial is way better than nothing. But so what it should say here is like Alice Martins in terms of what's listed as who's posting the ad, which would then, if you're not paying attention very closely, look like somebody, that Alice Martins is just sharing a testimonial from her page, when really it's an ad, because it's going to still say sponsored underneath here, but it'll fool most people. into thinking this is just a random testimonial that showed up on their news feed. And they'll be like, wow, I was just looking at that company. Great. So, and then obviously if they click on Alice Mitchell, I think I said Alice Mitchell, whatever name I said, they'll go back to the fan page, and because you set the fan page up like I said, it's just going to look like a personal page of Alice Martin. If you seeded it with content enough. And so what you've created here, as you can see, is a mechanism to make people see what looks like an organic share of a testimonial about your company. That's why you're going to get a 4x increase in your ROI using this, either to get new people interested in your company or to close more customers or more prospects that you've already got to your site into customers that you pushed them the rest of the way off the fence into buying, if you will. So, with that said, here, that's the method at hand. Most people, by the way, aren't going to check out the fan page. 10% or less will, and in that case, you got a page that'll, with 80% of the people will just think it's a regular Facebook page. So basically nobody, practically speaking, is going to know that this isn't an organic share. That's why it's going to work so well. And then once you've done this once, like I said, you want to do it like 4 more times. So whatever you're doing to advertise now on Facebook, I wouldn't stop doing it necessarily. I would just set up a new campaign and then advertise like 5 different testimonials that'll show up for the person while your other advertising is going on, so that you could have certain ads that you're using to educate the prospect on who you are and what problems you can solve for that person. Then on top of that, they also see your testimonials. So whatever they'll see something like, you know, they'll see an ad that pitches your product that is supposed to help them with problem A. Then they see a testimonial ad. Then they see your original ad again. Then they see another testimonial. And the rotation of these ads is what really, really works in online advertising. Instead of just seeing one ad, they see 10 different ads that are cycled out, so they are being told a story about your company while they start seeing these ads over the first, 2-3 months of trying to decide, while they're in your market, trying to decide who to buy from. They've heard from you the most, therefore they end up with you a majority of the time. That's just how things work, because people associate authority with whoever they see the most. And you can artificially create that in your market with this. So, in terms of the ads that you have that are a direct pitch that try to get that user to buy, I would have 3 or 4 of those. And then on top of that, you're rotating in like 5 different testimonials. So they see an ad that says what you do. Then they see a testimonial. Then they see an ad that explains the other features of what you do. And then they see another testimonial. Then they see another ad that talks about the warranty of your product. Then they see another testimonial. So nobody else is going to go through the trouble of doing this in your market. And you could actually set it up. If you want to get the most results, I would recommend having it so it was actually a timed, or not exactly timed, but it's a controlled sequence. So they're going to see a video ad that demonstrates the product first. So people are just aware of what you do and why it's there. Then they see a testimonial. Then they're going to see an ad about your warranty. And think about, how do I get the person's aware that, so we're up front, we're going to make them aware of our brand. Then we're going to have a testimonial. Then we're going to make them aware of our warranty. Then we're going to have another testimonial. And you can have it to where once they've seen one ad, they will only be able to see the second ad once they see the first ad. And then you could have it to where a third ad only shows up for that person if they've seen the second ad, and so forth. So it's like literally a timed sequence, if you want to call it that, where you have 15 different ads that are going to show up for a person in series. There's fantastic results where you can do something like that. when your competition's only showing them one ad and that's it, and you've got this whole story you're telling them, that's where mega results come in a lot of different markets. But in some markets, we're able to take these testimonials by itself and make money when that's the only thing that we're doing. But that's not the majority. The testimonials are great, but they're really great, or they're even better, supplementing other things that you're doing. Because the testimonials don't explain the benefits of the product or service, particularly up front before they know anything about you. They don't have enough context to have that testimonial work. But when they already know of your product or service, even if they've seen your ad and didn't click, then you have a testimonial show up. That's going to support the first ad's ROI that you're getting from the first ad, because now whatever they say on the first ad's substantiated for that user. So they're more likely to click on that testimonial and go to your site because they've seen the first ad and they know that they can trust what they see on the first ad. And then if they trust it but they weren't quite sold on the benefits of your product, that's why you have another ad that talks about the benefits of your product again, to try to close that gap. Because sometimes they don't buy because they don't trust you, and sometimes they don't buy because they don't think they can be helped by what you have. And then if they see the second ad that explains what benefits you offer that customer, and that doesn't work, then perhaps they still don't trust you enough yet, which is why you hit them with another testimonial. And then you just keep doing that, like a 1-2 punch on them. Here's why you need to buy. Here's proof that it works for other customers. Here's the other reason why you need to buy. Here's more proof that it works for another customer. And technically, if each testimony, if you wanted to go extra, to get extra credit here, every testimonial should reference the benefits of the product or service that was mentioned in the previous ad. So if you talked about that this will make you lose 50 pounds, eating everything you want, the testimonial ad that follows it should talk about, I lost 50 pounds and I could eat everything I wanted to. And then the next ad, if it says, you could eat sugar on this diet. Then this next ad after that said, I lost 50 pounds and I was eating sugary things. I didn't have to do the Atkins diet like a lot of people have, and so forth. So in other words, the testimonial is going to be able to support what was said on the previous ad about what the benefit was. So that's the type of sequence in terms of getting maximum results of the direction that you want to go. So on the prospecting front, you're generally going to want to have your ads that you have now with the testimonial ads. On the remarketing side, it's also the same thing. You could just have a testimonial show up and that's it and get quite a bit of benefit, but you'll get even more benefit if you have other ads that show your average Google ratings, which don't do your Facebook, because Facebook will ban you for that, as we found before the hard way, because they don't want Facebook's name on any of the ads you have. Even though if you're saying this is our Facebook reviews, they still don't care, which is really dumb, but it is what it is. Then you can have another ad that says what your warranty is. You can have another ad that says your shipping policy or that you have free shipping, so that they're seeing similar to, before they come to your site for the first time, they're seeing benefit 1, testimonial. Benefit 2, another testimonial. Benefit 3 again. Because a lot of people think, well, all that information's on my landing page. I don't need to follow them up with this information. They already know it, or and they obviously don't care about it. And the reality is, most people either don't remember or they don't even read everything on your landing page or your site. So when you follow them up, taking the 5 key benefits or reasons why people buy from you, and you regurgitate them in the remarketing sequence that you have, you'll make sure every single person that you wanted to buy knows all the key things that they need to know to be interested and want to buy. And so at that point in time, then, it'll literally double the amount of people that are going to buy that you've successfully got to come to your site in the first place that were qualified. Because the follow-up in marketing is actually more important than the reach. Look at the power of 7s in marketing. People got to see your advertisements more than once to take stock in them and think they're credible companies to work with. And you take things further by the follow-ups you do, adding more information in every follow-up, so that you're literally, if you want to call it, brainwashing them on all the benefits of your company. That's how you get the most results out of your campaign, versus here, buy from us. Are you ready to buy yet? No. Okay, how about now? And hit them over the head with the ad again, and then again and again, which people hate. You say, reason 1, here's a testimonial. Reason 2, here's another testimonial. Ideally, again, having the testimonials line up with the ad that they just saw previous to that, and then having it go in a time sequence. So, with all that said, that's pretty much what I would do with the method as a whole. Even in some cases where you could use it all by itself to make money on the front end to get people's interest, it's usually better with other ads. And then on the remarketing side, again, you could make money with it by itself, but you'll make even more putting in other ads in your remarketing sequence to get even more out of remarketing, what that can do for your company. So that said, I'm going to pretty much wrap it up with that. Hopefully you understand what I'm trying to convey here today to you. If you have any questions, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a comment on this channel, usually within a couple days' time. Also, if you like the channel here, not only should you subscribe, but I have a blog on my site at garrettpppc.com/blog, where you can find writing by myself that gives you even more ideas on how to make money. Whereas, the channel by itself is the best channel you're going to find about making money with PPC on YouTube in terms of practical advice, as I'm managing several dozen PPC campaigns at any given time, and the stuff that works here I'm sharing with you on this video or on this channel. Therefore, you're not going to get better information than on this channel. Beyond that, if you need to get results, you don't have time to get the results, you can reach out to my firm. And I work with every firm out there, or every company out there. But what we do is, if we are going to work with the company, we will guarantee the results. In that, if you don't get a certain amount of sales increase or leads increase from what we're doing from you up front, which we would agree in up front together of what we need to do for you to make it worth your time, we don't charge any fees. In some cases, we'll even cover your ad spend up front until you get some money. You make enough money to cover our costs. And we'll just partner with your business directly. You have to have a good product or service and company for us to be able to work with you like that. But if you want to know if we can do something like that for your company, reach out to my firm at garrettpppc.com. I'd be happy to look your stuff over and see if we can work together. Furthermore, I can tell you how much results we can provide you short and long term. And of course, like what we would charge when we eventually charge it. So if you're looking for the best agency you could find out there to do stuff on your campaigns, actually guarantee the results for your campaigns that nobody else does in this market, then you should reach out and see if we can work together. I'll wrap it up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in my next video where we have another great strategy for you then. See you later.